For months now, News Channel 12 has been tracking a disturbing discovery at the bottom of the Neuse River. 5 coffins lining the shoreline in James City. The I-Team's senior investigator, Frank Fraboni, has been working to solve this submerged mystery.
That's right, Val. It's been an unsolved mystery for years now. But the discovery of these coffins raises a lot of questions. First, where did they come from? And secondly, how did they get here? Tonight, with the help of local historians and an anthropologist, we may have finally found an answer. Beneath the Highway 17 bridge and on and off ramps over the Neuse River lies a disturbing sight, the remnants of wooden coffins just beneath the surface. First discovered by kayakers and fishermen a few years ago, the 5 coffins, where they came from and how they got here, has been a mystery. Using an underwater camera, we took a closer look and shared our discovery with an ECU anthropologist.
I saw the pictures and I said, yeah, those sure look like coffins.
Dr. Charles Ewan has worked in the field of historical archaeology for decades.
But can you tell anything from looking at them and the shape of them?
I would say they're probably late 19th, early 20th century, just from the looks of them, although they could even be earlier.
But how could coffins dating back to the 1800s wind up here, just feet from the shoreline on a state-owned piece of property in James City?
And he run the settlement here. It was 100 acres of land. They built 500 houses.
Chairman of the James City Historical Society, William Hollowell, showed us on a map from 1866 the area near the coffins was originally the Trent River Settlement, a community established by the Union Army for freed slaves. He believes it could be a slave graveyard, just like the one found here at Coastal Carolina Regional Airport, called the Far Cemetery. It was found during an archaeological investigation in the 1970s. It's now a memorial park, honoring those buried here and home to the 1850 slave quarters, a project to restore and preserve this slave home from New Bern. Hollowell says these coffins are incredibly close to what was the freed slave settlement.
Do you have any suspicion about where they may have come from or how they got there?
Well, I mean, we have talked about a couple of things. We talked about the hospital.
That hospital was just walking distance from these coffins that appear to be side by side or in rows.
Well, I truly believe that it's a cemetery that was part of the smallpox contraband hospital.
New Bern historian Claudia Houston says that hospital was rather large, built to treat freed slaves who were also called contraband of the war and who were dying in large numbers from an outbreak of smallpox.
I have what they call morning reports, which designates all the areas here and how many people were in the hospital and who died. And within a 3-month period, there were over 200 deaths from smallpox.
According to the 1866 map of the settlement in James City, the smallpox contraband hospital was right here. When we lay the current map of the highways over the top of that map, we get a clearer picture of the coffin's location and their close proximity to the smallpox hospital. Houston believes a cemetery close to the hospital amid a smallpox epidemic now exposed by years of storms and erosion just makes sense.
People were really, really afraid. I mean, they used to burn all the clothes, any kind of towel, anything that was used to care for them because it was so contagious. And people didn't know why you got smallpox. They just knew other people got it. So I would think that they would bury them right where they died, unfortunately, and it would be right there.
That raises an even more interesting question. Could there be more?
It's going to take wading around in the shallows and into the swampy shoreline to see how far these go.
But the big thing, Frank, is now that we know it, what are we going to do? Who's going to help?
Hollowell believes it's time someone did something to preserve what could be a part of the area's troubled past.
We need to make it right from over, 200 years ago? Yeah. And
we've reached out to the Department of Transportation to alert them of the coffin's discovery.
A spokesperson says that they're now working to investigate the find and, of course, their responsibility. And, of course, this investigation continues, and we'll keep you updated on what they have to say and what happens next. If you have a story you want us to investigate, you can reach out to the I-Team by phone, text, or email. You can see our contact information there on your screen, or you can head on over to our website, WCTI12.com. Val?